Good evening and welcome to the February 20th, 2025 special meeting of the Indian River County Planning and Zoning Commission. We'll call this meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Any additions or deletions from the agenda?
No, sir.
No, good enough. We have no minutes to approve, so we'll get right into it. We have one agenda item tonight, and that is Quail Valley Recreation Center, and this is a request for a major site plan and administrative permit use approval for a civic and social membership organization, a private recreation center. Quail Valley Club LLC is the owner. Sulky, Brittle, and Stoddard LLC is the agent. The zoning is medical. Land use designation is commercial industrial. Any declaration of ex parte communications? None. Anyone who would like to speak on this, please stand to be sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Staff presentation, please.
Good evening, Chair and members of the board. Before you today is the Quail Valley Recreational Major Site Plan and Administrative Permit Use. The property is located south of 41st Street, east of 11th Drive, and southwest of Indian River Boulevard. Here's an aerial of the site to give you an idea of existing conditions. Back in December, this body approved the Riverton residential subdivision to the south of this project, which was plat over site plan. The overall site plan is going to provide for a bevy of recreational uses to include tennis, paddleball courts, bocce ball, pickleball, racquetball, squash, a spa and market, an administrative facility, and fitness center. Traffic circulation plan will just be your standard circulation plan that will have a connection to 11th Drive, which will be right in and right out only. It will be gated. They're also going to share access via a roundabout with the Riverton subdivision. It will also be gated as well. The landscape plan will call for a required 25-foot type B landscape buffer on the north, west, and south portion of the site. There is going to be a required 25-foot type C buffer on the the eastern edge of the site. Dedications and improvements, internal and external sidewalk and pedestrian system, parking area lighting, common green space and recreation area. I would also like to note that it meets or exceeds all the specific land use criteria as listed within section 971.28 subsection 2 of the county land development regulations. A detailed breakdown of each criterion is provided within the staff report. Staff recommends that the PZC grant major site plan and administrative permit use approval for the Quail Valley Recreational Center with the conditions listed in the staff report. These conditions refer to the final tree protection and mitigation plans, the installation of all landscape buffer improvements, all the lighting improvements, and all the common area and project sidewalks. I'm available for any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Any commissioner questions on the right?
Not at this time.
No, any commissioner questions on the left?
No questions from my end. I have a disclosure. I'll stay. I'm on the wait list for membership at Quail. I think I can still make a sound decision on this, unbiased. I don't have any problem recusing myself if that would be the direction of county staff or attorney as well.
Normally, in order for someone to recuse himself, they would have to have some sort of monetary benefit or value that they would, obtain from it. I don't believe that him being on a waiting list gives him any sort of monetary value or anything from voting on the item. So I think we're okay.
Good enough? No questions, so I will open the floor for public comment. Anyone who would like to comment on this, please come to either one of the podiums, state your name, address, and make your comment. No comments?
Tom Sullivan, 4187 West 16th Square. Could you put up that graphic again?
Which one?
The second one?
That one?
Oh, I'm sorry, the first one. I do have a problem with that intersection of 41st and 11th Avenue. The other problem I have is right east of that site. East of that site, is that an outline of a building there? You see what I'm speaking? Yeah, right there.
This is,
Yeah. And my, oops. And my question is, if that's an outline of a building, where is their egress access going to come? Is it going to come through the proposed site?
So this area that you're referring to was actually approved via the preliminary plat for the Riverton subdivision that actually also approved the plat portion of this site. So this is going to be a later phase that's going to come in that has not come in yet, but
Yes.
access would be derived from Indian River Boulevard, from my understanding.
I see. Because where that access would normally need to be derived, and if it's a medical facility, which I assume it might be, it's going to have southbound traffic cutting into the merge lane that comes off the 41st going south, which alleviates the backup of traffic on 41st Street. Do you get my gist on that one?
Yes.
Okay. So now, if in fact they do put an access egress there, I would imagine anyone with common sense would want to take the merge lane away, because otherwise you'd have cars trying to get in and cars trying to make a right turn on Indian River Boulevard, which is getting more congested by the day. So now my question is, we've really tried to shove a lot of things in here. And I think they've made a lot of money already. The idea, and I go back.
Mr. Sullivan, I'm not sure we should be talking about that.
Okay, well, the point I was going to go
I
back.
mean, we're talking about the site that is on the
Yes.
graphic, not the one across the street.
Right. But, when I was at a meeting here on December 8th of 2002, there was Mr. Sweeney responded to commission questions
Mr.
about
Sullivan, I
traffic.
was not here in 2002. Do you mean 2022?
2022.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'm
College.
sorry. You started to look a little gray, though, I have to tell you. Okay? And Ryan Mr. Sweeney explained that the 11th Drive project intended to relieve the area of traffic and also noted that this would do that. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. I have nothing against this project. The only question I have, having been the athletic director at New Hampshire College when you were at Castleton State, is this.
Wrong, I wasn't at
Oh,
Castleton
wait.
State, so
Okay.
let's get that straight.
All right. So what I'm saying is the noise factor and the light factor, we're going to have controls about that because there are people living around there. So in other words, is there going to be a situation where the lights go off at 11 o'clock, where they don't start playing until certain hours? Okay, that's my thing with it. And I think you guys all know my concern with traffic in that area. I don't think we've looked at that road, and I don't know how much widening can be done. I do know that they're allowing for 272 spaces. I know that the project south of it that's on the board is 72 units, and I know that the apartment building is 287, and I know that there's 200. So, and now there's another plan, which I won't get into because I'm not allowed to, but we're putting a lot of traffic on that street, and across the street of US 1 is the railroad track. So I'm just saying, I don't know if we've thought this out. I have no problem with them coming there. I just hope that we manage the traffic as they move in. Thank you.
And this is probably not the time to talk about traffic, right?
NB.
Yeah, all right.
Well, basically, all these projects have to meet concurrency, and for some reason, if there's a failure in concurrency, they're gonna have to do improvements to the road system to get their project through. Is
Sure.
that not correct?
Yes, so again, for the record, Ryan Sweeney, Assistant Planning Development Services Director. As was described at the December 12th, 2024 meeting, we did note that this project was coming. The reason we are having a special call meeting tonight is this project is supposed to pace with Riverton to the south. And for a couple of different reasons, they didn't quite pace, but that's why we're trying to get them linked back up. But we made it clear then and clear now that all of those surrounding projects be included in the background traffic for this project. We still have not included the 2-acre medical site that's on the boulevard because it's not there yet. We don't know what the exact square footage is, nor have we included the property further to the west, because again, it builds upon one another. If that answers your question.
Thank you, Ryan.
And I can say the current traffic study did not warrant a signal at 41st and 11th Drive.
Anyone else like to speak on this?
My name is Andy Spalding, 1479 Lily's Case Circle. I'm the community that falls just to the north of the recreation center that's going to be there. And of course, you know, all the residents are concerned about what the impact is going to bring from lights, from noise, et cetera. But I haven't heard anything from a negative standpoint to have any pushback about the facility itself. I mean, it sounds pretty exciting, actually. But I just want to, when I found out about this meeting late yesterday, I did want to come today and just express a little bit. I don't want to talk about traffic because I know this is not what it's about. But for an example today, if I come across the railroad track in the eastbound on 41st Street, eastbound, that traffic signal at US 1 and 41st Street doesn't have a turn signal going eastbound. So that through traffic across the track, as you know, they took away the stop sign and everybody can flow through that, excuse me. And that's going to create a problem because if you can't make a left because of the traffic that's going westbound, that traffic has become a lot more since they've added Costa Point, Lucaya, and now we're going to add, you know, another 200 parking spots for Quail. I see that as a projected problem because if they can't make a left, it's backing up toward the tracks. That could be a real serious situation. Plus, it's gonna create some temper tantrums in that intersection. So hope there's some thought in the traffic study that they're gonna do there, that they consider that to get either a turn lane, because even a car turning right on US 1, there's no turn lane there either. So they're waiting to turn right, they can't, the car's trying to make a left, and all that traffic that's coming on 41st heading west, it's pretty bad, especially at traffic hour, early morning, late 5 o'clock. So that's a major concern that we have. As far as our community being across the street, I don't foresee it being a problem. I think it may be a plus for the community. I know Quail does a pretty top-notch job with whatever they do, so I don't think you're gonna get any pushback from the community we have. I know Tom's in the adjacent community, but you know, I just wanted to share the traffic issue because it was impacted today and it hasn't even gone yet. And those sales have not been totally built out in those 2 new communities, so that, I'll just put that thought in your mind.
Thank you, Mr. Spalding. Anyone else? We'll close the public comment section. Any additional commissioner questions on the left?
I just had one question on this. I didn't see a lift station, but I see one for the project that's been approved, and I just didn't know if they were tying into that lift station. It looks like that would be the logical thing, but is that what's happening?
Yes, there's a master lift station in 11th Drive.
Okay.
Just real quick for lighting and noise, I mean, the county has lighting and noise ordinances, but I've used this sort of analogy before that those things tend to be self-policing. The Riverton project to the south, which is a GHO project, again, this is a partnership between the two of them. They're gonna wanna be good neighbors. You know, Bill's not gonna let Kevin operate until, you know, wee hours of the morning because he's not gonna be able to sell his units and vice versa, you know, so. I think that will control itself. The folks at Costa will also may be members, so it's gonna be privately controlled as well as county controlled.
Thank you. Any questions on the right? Go ahead, Mark.
Brian, just out of curiosity, 227 spaces seem like a lot, and it says that they were required. How was that calculated?
So, thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Mutcher. We do have parking calcs per the various different uses, number of courts, swimming pool, fitness center, administrative offices. My guess is that we typically don't have a facility that offers this many types of different options, so a lot of those spaces will overlap. In other words, you're not gonna have, people who are there that are playing pickleball are also gonna go hit the gym and then hit the lap pool. So, and the way our code treats those is 3 different uses, so in theory, those people would be parking in 3 different spaces for those same 3 activities, if that makes sense. So it may or may not be overkill, but it's certainly, I don't anticipate that parking lot being full.
Okay, and there was or there wasn't a traffic study?
There was a traffic study that included all of the surrounding
Okay, and
recently
that
approved projects.
probably explains what you just said.
Well, parking and traffic are 2 different things, but they are interrelated.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Are we good on questions?
No, sir. Couple.
All right.
Just questions. First of all, is the project phased in any form, or is it all in one?
It's going to be all in one phase.
Okay. And then the drainage that was mentioned, they'll tie into the project to the south, so they have to work simultaneously. So if one's slower than the other, then are they holding each other up?
Yeah, in theory, I mean, both access and drainage. So it's a joint project through and through.
Okay, and then the access was the last question. So if somebody's in the project and wants to head south, they're gonna have to go through the roundabout, and then they can head south to 37th Street?
Correct.
Okay, so they're not forced to go out to Inwood Boulevard and so forth, okay.
Correct, yeah, the direct connection to 11th Drive is a right in, right out, and there will be a raised median traffic separator, so they won't be able to make a left out of that driveway. They'll have to go
Okay,
through.
so that'll divert a substantial amount of the traffic then potentially to 37th Street.
Correct, versus going
As
up.
a way from 41st Street, which is, I know, a concern for a lot of people. Okay.
Good, Chip? Anyone else? Hearing none, I'll call for motion.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve, second, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Commissioner matters, any commissioner matters? I've got a question from a constituent that I was not able to answer, so I will bring it to you.
Okay,
This
perfect.
question is about Vero Largo subdivision, which is 53rd Street and 57th, between 53rd and 57th off 58th. And the question is that there are multiple stormwater retention ponds on that property. And the question from the constituent is, according to a real estate agent, Vero Largo is the only subdivision in the country that has permission to pump water from the retention ponds into canals. Is that true?
That does not sound true, but I'd have to look into it to give you a
Yeah,
sure
I
answer
mean,
on that.
I've never heard anything like that, and so
Yeah, that doesn't.
I will,
I can follow up with you.
What's that?
I can follow up with you.
okay, if you'll follow up with me, I'll answer his question, but now I guess you can see why I couldn't answer it. Sure. Very good. Any planning matters?
Just because we were able to have this meeting tonight, we don't have anything on the docket for next Thursday. So our next meeting may be the the 13th of March? Maybe. We're not set in stone.
All right, maybe,
So our backlog has been eased up now?
Correct.
Yeah, that would be the 13th.
all right. Any attorney matters?
None.
Oh, my heart's broken. We're adjourned.